internet people. It's Chris again with a review of Cary Spotlight. This will be week 7. If you've been following along, I've been having a little bit of a cold. We're getting over it. So let's get right into what we got going on for today. Oh, reminder, 46 days to go until the anniversary edition of Cary Spotlight. So we're doing this as a series, 52 episodes covering basically the year that was and some of the decisions we've made and some of the insights that we've got. So this is very interesting. This is a local business spotlight that we did here for a roofer. I'm well aware of this one. They reached out to us because they actually saw a spotlight that we wrote about La Farm Bakery. So they're familiar with La Farm Bakery, saw the work we did, and was interested in having us do something for them. And we were always interested in working with new businesses that want to expand their footprint in Cary. So firefighters, policemen, nurses, these people have high trust with our community. So we definitely want to talk about what they're up to. There's a veterinary shortage. This definitely goes to the heart of a lot of people that have pets, or the problem of pets that have to go into shelters, and then shelters having to make space. Some sports as usual, and we get right into it. A dramatic rescue, story like I mentioned already, and then we have this premier company. We kind of wrote something short about them, how they are working with Habitat for Humanity. Again, this is affordable housing and roofs and for veterans. So that was a story that we did real quick. As you'll see in future episodes, this is not as in depth as we've done with the others, and there's a reason for that, which I will explain once we get to that. Okay. And again, we're playing with different formatting for putting ads in the newsletter to kind of show people, hey, the different placements that you can have. And it doesn't just have to be a logo. You can also talk about the kind of problem that you solve. So as explicitly here, we solve roofing problems. This is something I came up with. I got the logo, and then I do stuff like that. So just take that as it is, that just putting a logo sometimes is not enough to get people to get attention or to click on it. Sometimes if it's just a branding play, you could just put the logo because you're just trying to keep the brand. It's either people already have certain association with that logo, what that logo means. But if nobody knows the company and what the logo means, then just putting the logo is not going to help. So you're going to have to do a little bit more work to build up that foundation. Okay. And that's something that I've learned just from publishing the newsletter. Again, a big thing that's an event that happened in Cary is the soccer tournament where they get $1 million prize, and you'll see a whole bunch of stories about this leading up to people being able to get tickets, or we just completed the tournament and seeing how many fans we drew last year. I think Wrexham came to play, so now the tickets are coming on sale, so people can get excited about that. So that's kind of it. Again, we did hear how long you lived in Cary, and subsequently I figured out, and you'll see, I had to add more years because based on the actual reader feedback, we had people that were like 40 years plus. So we wanted to break that down a little bit more. So definitely something to keep in mind. White lung pneumonia in kids also, it's like a health thing. That's, again, any kind of health alerts. This is something we want to share, information we want to share with our readers. Found a story again about a spa that's giving back. So that's always good, giving back to the community. And oh, look at this. This is our first time that we've done the spotlight hook. And the point of the spotlight hook is actually to get people to read all the way down to the bottom of the newsletter. It actually tells you the answers at the bottom. So a hook is like you ask a question just like this one, and if you don't know the answer to the question, or you think you know the answer to the question, you're almost compelled because of the nature of the question to want to know the answer. And it creates an open loop. And if you can't close the loop, it's going to bother you. And if you get to know the answer, you probably be sharing it with your neighbor or somebody later on. So that's a new thing that I've added, the hook, and it definitely helps to get people down to the bottom. Sometimes people don't see the answer, and they would comment and say, I couldn't get the answer. So that's how we knew to add links so people could jump to the online version if for some reason they have an email reader like Gmail that cuts off the newsletter, but usually it's not a problem. Most people read our newsletter on their mobile devices, and this newsletter is formatted very nicely inside of the email so they can just scroll through the whole thing in 3 minutes. So as you can see here, we got the answer at the bottom. So you have to come all the way down here. You'll be able to see our events and different things that we want to talk about to get there. So that's a neat feature to have, and I've kept it, and I've kept up with putting in this kind of trivia question. All right. Ooh, who would want to get some of that unclaimed money, right? So we told people how that there's a billion out there. Sometimes it's small little checks, but just people just never go get their refunds. And so there's a website where you can see if money is owed to you. First responders, right up military, again, people with high trust. So we want to amplify their stories, kind of put a spotlight on that. Here's another spotlight we did on the athletic lab. Actually reached out to them to do that one. Again, in this at this time we are literally learning different things, different formats. So we are definitely trying to help people get exposure, writing up the spotlights really briefly and give them an opportunity to go learn more about the business. So that's something that we're doing here. And again, as you can see, from my point of view, there's not a lot of reader engagement. It's kind of a passive read here. I would have liked to see more kind of like a reader poll or something in that. But that's something that I learned later on how to do. On this one, let's see what we got here. Health alert. Okay, nanoplastics and dementia. Okay. Oh, there you go again. A pride article. This is like to say, hey, our schools shine in the North Carolina rankings. So people want to know, especially if I'm going to buy a house, I want to live in an area that has good schools. So we're going to talk about that. We got our crime story, 2 sports stories, and our viral meme. And of course, we always stick to our guns. Like I said, we start to do something, we commit. So the spotlight hook is in here. It's a thing now. And we're going to just keep doing it. So, I haven't changed that poll yet. So, yeah, that's basically that one. There's nothing too exciting in this one. Yep, holiday scams definitely would be something that I'll be looking out again to make sure that if there isn't any news stories coming out, to make sure people are aware of holiday scams. There's a big Cary parade. I have a lot of businesses that are involved in that, so definitely featuring those kinds of stories would make sense. Yes, scam alert. Watch out for these travel scam these will probably still stay the same, but there may be new scams coming out. That definitely is something that we will be able to talk about for our readers in the upcoming holiday season. So that's the formula for that. And now, as you can see, we brought back trying to establish this travel and discovery edition. So we're definitely working on anchoring the week with specialty editions because it just lightens the load on getting the preparation ready. Also, giving people more opportunities to get involved, doing some kind of advertising, and reaching out to us. We have a lot of business owners in the local area that are actually subscribed to kind of see what we're up to. So we want to give them an opportunity to engage. The book recon, again, we're not being very consistent with this, but it's just definitely something, as I said before, that I would want to bring back just for fun. And then the tasty trends, here now we just put the recipe instead of having people go click through. The idea here is, if you like the recipe, you would save this page and you would come back to it. Or if you're looking for a recipe, we might show up in the SEO part of it organically. So that's always good. So what I would have done differently, though, is put a subscribe button here. So in case somebody does stumble upon this, when they're looking for stuffed tuna, tomato, tuna stuffed tomato recipe, that they would subscribe because they like what we're doing. And then finally, as always, we end up on our 7th day of our editorial calendar, which is on a Monday. I already explained why we do it this way. And we have our main sponsor of the real estate edition right there. And we cover, basically, it's a very formulaic layout. It's very easy for people to who have seen this before to be able to find the data that they're looking for. It's right there. Again, I'm maintaining this median prices, but like I said in the past, we're going to ditch this because it wasn't really helpful. We also did a spotlight here for a home inspector, so that was kind of interesting, and we did that right there. And again, some brief or a summary of the mortgage and real estate trends that we are tracking on a national basis. So that's pretty much sums up the week. The main highlights here was getting that hook, how to hook your readers. And funny enough, a lot of them expected that to be in there. So sometimes if we didn't get the answer right, or we forgot to put the answer, or it was the same question within maybe 2 days, we will get a little email and people will say, hey, guys missed asking the question or missed putting the answer. So just be aware. If you're going to do it, pay attention to detail, as always. And it's curious to see what people miss if you don't have it there. All right. So enjoy, and I'll see you on the next episode tomorrow.